No gimmicks, no crash diets, just pure, calculated destruction of body fat, ATHLEAN-X style. This is where science meets sweat, where average bodies break and disciplined ones evolve. You'll learn to shred smart, eat like an athlete, and train with surgical precision every rep, every calorie, every drop of effort aimed at one goal, keeping muscle while burning the rest. This isn't just a cutting phase, it's a transformation mission. Lock in, dial up your intensity, and conquer the cut. The world won't recognize you when you're done. Collision: the science of the cut. Why most people lose muscle while dieting, and how to flip the script with strategic nutrition and training balance. When most people start cutting, they think it's all about slashing calories and watching the number on the scale drop. But that's the fastest way to lose muscle, kill your energy, and end up looking flat instead of shredded. The real secret starts with understanding what's actually happening under the hood, the science of the cut. Your body doesn't care whether the weight you lose is fat or muscle. It just sees that you're in a deficit and looks for the easiest energy source. If you don't train and eat with purpose, that energy source ends up being your hard-earned muscle tissue. That's the difference between someone who looks lean and powerful and someone who just looks smaller. To keep muscle while you're cutting, you need to send your body the right signals. Resistance training isn't optional, it's the language your body understands. Every rep, every set tells your system, hey, this muscle is still needed. That's what convinces your body to hold onto lean mass while pulling energy from stored fat instead. The key is intensity. Going through the motions won't cut it. Even in a calorie deficit, you've got to train with purpose, heavy enough to challenge your muscles, controlled enough to maintain perfect form, and smart enough to know when to push and when to pull back. Now, here's where most people screw it up. They panic about losing strength as calories drop. Sure, your numbers in the gym might dip a little, but that's normal. What's not normal is dropping your effort to save energy. You don't coast through a cut. You adjust, adapt, and keep your foot on the gas. You want your body to realize that muscle is essential, that it needs to stay functional, dense, and active. The moment you start treating your workouts like optional, your body will treat your muscle the same way. Then comes nutrition, the other half of the science. Cutting calories doesn't mean cutting nutrients. You need enough protein to repair and maintain muscle tissue, enough carbs to fuel performance, and enough fats to keep your hormones from tanking. It's about balance, not deprivation. Think of food as data. Each meal tells your body how to perform. Feed it smart, and it performs like a machine. Feed it sloppy, and it starts burning through the wrong reserves. You also need patience. A real cut isn't about quick fixes. It's about precision, knowing your numbers, tracking your progress, and making small, smart adjustments week by week. If you try to rush it, your body fights back. You start losing strength, performance drops, and fat loss stalls. But when you keep things controlled and strategic, every day brings you closer to that crisp, athletic, head-turning look. So don't just diet. Don't just train, understand the science of both and make them work together. The goal isn't to lose weight, it's to lose fat while keeping everything that makes you strong. That's how you transform from someone who just cuts to someone who commands their body. Eat to shred, not starve. Master calorie control, protein timing, and nutrient balance to keep your metabolism firing and muscles fed. Most people think cutting means eating less of everything. They slash calories, skip meals, and then wonder why they feel weak, flat, and constantly hungry. The truth is, if you want to get lean without losing muscle, you can't just eat less. You have to eat right. You need to eat like an athlete, not a dieter. The goal isn't starvation, it's strategy. Every bite you take should have a purpose. Every meal should move you closer to your goal. When you're cutting, your number one priority is keeping muscle tissue. That means protein has to become your best friend. Think of protein as the raw material your body uses to protect and rebuild muscle when calories are low. Without enough of it, your body starts breaking down muscle for fuel, and that's the exact opposite of what you want. You're not just feeding your stomach, you're feeding your recovery, your strength, your metabolism, because muscle isn't just for looks, it's your fat burning engine. The more you preserve it, the more efficient your cut becomes. Carbs get a bad reputation, but cutting them completely is another mistake people make. You don't want to eliminate carbs, you want to control them. They're your body's preferred source of training fuel. The trick is to be strategic. Use them around your workouts when your body will actually put them to work. That's when carbs help you lift heavier, recover faster, and keep your training intensity high. You don't need piles of them, you just need the right amount at the right time. And let's not forget fats. People often think fats are the enemy during a cut, but they're essential for hormone balance, joint health, and overall function. When you go too low on fats, your testosterone drops, your mood crashes, and your performance tanks. The goal isn't to eliminate fats, it's to manage them intelligently. A mix of healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, and avocados keeps your system running smoothly without sabotaging your deficit. Here's the big takeaway: cutting is a science, not a punishment. You don't win by starving yourself. You win by staying consistent and fueling your body smartly. You want to stay in a calorie deficit, yes, but a controlled one. Not so low that you can't train hard, and not so high that you stop burning fat. The sweet spot is where you're dropping fat each week, but still performing like an athlete in the gym. That balance is where transformation happens. The best part, once you start eating this way, structured, purposeful, balanced, you'll realize you don't have to feel deprived to get shredded. You'll have energy, focus, and strength, even in a deficit. You'll train harder, recover faster, and actually feel better while leaning down. Because this isn't about eating less, it's about eating smart. You're not starving yourself into shape. You're fueling your way there. That's how you build a body that looks strong, performs strong, and stays that way. Lift heavy, train smart, preserve muscle by focusing on progressive overload, compound lifts, and explosive strength. Even in a deficit. When it comes to cutting, the first thing most people do is lighten the weights, bump up the reps, and tell themselves they're toning. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. You don't tone muscle. You build it, you keep it, and you earn it. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body is already looking for energy. If you stop challenging your muscles, your body assumes it doesn't need them anymore. That's when you start losing not just fat, but strength, shape, and power. So when calories go down, training intensity has to stay up. The goal during a cut isn't to lift forever, it's to lift smart. You don't need marathon workouts, but every rep needs intent. Stick with your big compound movements: squats, presses, deadlifts, rows, pull-ups. These exercises hit multiple muscle groups, burn more calories, and send the strongest signal to your body that muscle needs to stay. Even if you're feeling tired or flat from the deficit, you can't back off the fundamentals. You might drop a few pounds off the bar, but the effort should never drop. That tension, that fight under the weight, that's what keeps your muscle dense and your body tight. Here's the thing: training hard doesn't mean training reckless. When energy is lower, recovery takes a bigger hit. This is where train smart really matters. You've got to focus on quality over quantity, control the movement, squeeze every rep, reduce junk volume, those half-hearted sets that don't serve a purpose. Make every session efficient, focused, and intentional. You're not just burning calories, you're preserving muscle. And don't fall for the myth that endless cardio will get you shredded faster. You can't Cardio a poor training plan. In fact, too much cardio can backfire by breaking down muscle tissue and slowing recovery. The iron is your anchor. It's what keeps your body solid while fat melts away. Your weight training should always be the centerpiece of your cut. Think of it as the foundation. Cardio can polish the edges, but lifting keeps the structure intact. Mentally, this is where a lot of people fold. You start to feel tired, maybe weaker, and it's easy to think, maybe I'll just take it easy today. That's exactly when you can't afford to. You have to remind yourself why you're doing it. To look athletic, not smaller. To stay strong, not just lean. Your body follows your effort. If you train like someone trying to keep muscle, your body responds by keeping it. If you train like someone just trying to lose weight, you'll end up losing the wrong kind. So stay consistent, stay calculated, and never lose the edge in your workouts. You're not just cutting, you're sculpting. Every rep is a statement. Every set tells your body what to keep and what to burn. Lift heavy, train smart, and let your discipline do the talking, because cutting isn't about losing strength. It's about proving you still have it. Cardio without muscle loss, the secret formula. Short, intense, targeted cardio that burns fat, not gains. When most people think about getting shredded, the first thing they do is double down on cardio. They hop on the treadmill, the bike, or the stair climber and grind for hours thinking more time equals more fat loss. But that's not how it works. If cardio isn't done strategically, it can backfire fast, too much, too often, and your body starts burning through muscle tissue for fuel. And once that happens, you're not cutting anymore, you're just shrinking. The key isn't more cardio, it's smart cardio. The real goal of cardio during a cut is to create just enough of an energy demand to help burn fat without touching muscle. You don't want your body dipping into your muscle stores, you want it using stored fat as fuel. That means intensity matters more than duration. You want short, focused bursts of work followed by controlled recovery periods. High intensity interval training, sprints, sled pushes. These are your weapons. They torch calories, spike your metabolism, and keep your body guessing without draining your strength. But that doesn't mean steady. State cardio has no place. It's a tool, not the enemy. Low-intensity steady state cardio, like walking on an incline or cycling at a moderate pace, can be incredibly effective when used right. It's easy on your joints, it aids recovery, and it burns extra calories without pushing you into overtraining. The problem is when people overdo it, turning cardio into punishment instead of precision. Every minute of cardio should serve a purpose, not just fill time. You also have to factor in how cardio interacts with your resistance training. You don't want to do high intensity cardio right before a heavy lifting session. It's like showing up to a race already tired. Space them apart or do your cardio after weights so your strength doesn't take the hit. Remember, muscle preservation comes first. The weights tell your body, keep this muscle, and cardio tells it, use fat for fuel. When both are balanced, that's when you start seeing real definition without sacrificing size. There's another key point people overlook: recovery. The more intense your cardio, the more recovery you'll need. Your body can only handle so much stress before it starts breaking down the wrong tissue. You've got to listen to your body. If your legs feel trashed every day, you're doing too much. Quality beats quantity every time. A few well-timed, high-effort sessions will always outperform endless hours of low-quality work. The best approach is a mix. Controlled, consistent cardio that complements your lifting, not competes with it. You want to train like an athlete, explosive, efficient, powerful. When you move with purpose, every session counts, and every drop of sweat pushes you closer to the goal. The idea isn't to punish yourself with cardio, it's to program it like a weapon. Used right, it burns fat, builds endurance, and reveals the muscle you've worked for. Recovery equals growth, sleep, stress control, and hydration, the underrated trifecta that determines whether you stay shredded or shrink. Most people think cutting is all about training harder and eating less, but the real secret weapon that separates those who stay shredded from those who burn out is recovery. You can train perfectly, eat flawlessly, and still stall if your recovery is trash. Because the truth is, your muscles don't grow in the gym. They grow when you rest. Training tears down muscle tissue. Recovery is what rebuilds it stronger, tighter, and more defined. If you don't give your body the time and resources to rebuild, you're just digging a deeper hole every day. Sleep is the foundation of recovery. It's where everything you've worked for actually comes together. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, repairs muscle tissue, balances hormones, and resets your energy systems. Cut your sleep short, and your body starts cutting corners. Your workouts feel flat, your hunger hormones spike, and your motivation plummets. You can't out-train bad sleep. Aim for consistency 7 to 9 hours of real, high-quality rest. That's when your body turns effort into results. Then there's stress. Everyone wants to talk about training intensity, but not enough people talk about recovery intensity. High stress, physical or mental, can crush your ability to get lean. Cortisol, the stress hormone, can make your body hold onto fat and even break down muscle if it stays elevated for too long. You've got to manage it. That doesn't mean living like a monk. It means finding ways to decompress. Take time to stretch, breathe, walk outside, or just disconnect. You can't perform like an athlete if you're constantly running on fumes. Hydration and nutrition also play a massive role in recovery. When you're cutting, your body is already under extra pressure. If you're not hydrated, your performance tanks, your recovery slows, and you'll feel every rep twice as hard. Water isn't just about thirst. It's about muscle function, joint health, and even fat metabolism. Along with that, electrolytes and micronutrients become even more important. Cutting doesn't mean cutting out the essentials. It means being more precise with them. Active recovery days are another game changer. Most people think rest means doing nothing, but that's not the case. Light movement, mobility work, or low-intensity cardio can actually speed up recovery by increasing blood flow and clearing out metabolic waste. Think of it as maintenance, keeping the engine running smoothly so you can hit the gas hard when it's time to train again. The biggest mistake you can make during a cut is thinking recovery is optional. It's not the thing you do after training, it's part of training. The athletes who look their best aren't the ones who go the hardest all the time. They're the ones who know when to push and when to pull back. Your body isn't a machine. It's a system. Treat it right and it performs like one. Neglect recovery and even the best plan falls apart. Cutting is stress. Recovery is the balance. Master both and your results don't just last, they dominate. The lean mindset, cutting isn't punishment, it's precision. Build discipline, consistency, and focus to command your transformation like an athlete. When people think about cutting, they focus on the food, the workouts, and the cardio. But the truth is, none of that matters if your mindset isn't locked in. You can have the perfect plan, the best training split, the ideal macros, and still fall apart halfway through because your head isn't in the game. Getting lean isn't just a physical process, it's a mental one. You have to approach it like a mission, not a phase. This isn't about surviving a few weeks of discipline. It's about building the mindset that keeps you consistent long after motivation fades. When you start cutting, you'll feel the hunger, the fatigue, the mental fog. It's part of the process. That's where most people give up. They start strong, then slowly loosen up, skip meals, skip workouts, tell themselves it's just one day. That's not how transformation works. The difference between people who look shredded and those who only try to get shredded is discipline. Discipline doesn't care how you feel, it cares that you show up anyway. Every time you choose consistency over comfort, you build a new level of mental toughness, and that's what carries you through. You also need to shift how you think about cutting. Most people see it as punishment, less food, more restriction, more grind. But when you see it as precision, everything changes. Cutting isn't about suffering, it's about control. You're not depriving yourself, you're sharpening yourself. You're proving to your body who's in charge. Every meal is a calculated move, every workout is an investment. Every day you stay locked in, you're reinforcing the message, I'm building something better. And when setbacks hit, and they will, you have to stay calm and strategic. Maybe the scale stalls, maybe you feel bloated. Maybe you look in the mirror and think nothing's changing. That's when most people panic and start doing more cardio, cutting more calories, or doubting everything. But the truth is, your body doesn't respond instantly. You can't force results. You have to earn them through patience and consistency. The ones who get shredded don't chase fast results. They trust the process. The mindset also extends to how you handle daily habits. Sleep, hydration, recovery, tracking progress, these aren't side tasks. They're part of the mission. It's about stacking small wins day after day. You don't need perfection, you need momentum. Even when you slip up, you don't quit. You adjust and keep moving. That's how athletes think. They don't let one mistake define their progress. They use it to tighten the next move. Cutting isn't just about fat loss, it's about self-mastery. It's about proving to yourself that you can take full command over your body, your habits, and your choices. When you build that kind of mindset, everything else falls into place: the training, the nutrition, the recovery, the results. Because the body follows the mind always, so when it gets hard, and it will, don't just push through it. Own it. The cut doesn't break you, it builds you. You've trained hard, dialed in your nutrition, and stayed consistent. Now it's time to finish strong. Cutting isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters with precision. You've learned how to drop fat, keep muscle, and perform like an athlete through every phase. Remember, the goal isn't to get smaller, it's to reveal the power you've built underneath. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and let the results speak louder than words. Because when you master the cut, you don't just change your body, you change your standard. This is how you get lean, stay strong, and look unstoppable the smart way.